All right, we're going to get going, everybody. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Kind of quick on that one. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Appreciate it on a cold summery night here. So the first thing we always do is the flag salute with Director DeHart.
Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing, review the agenda tonight. We'll approve the minutes from 4:25. We'll have public comments written in and also up to the microphone tonight. When we have individuals come up during this portion of the board meeting, members of the public are specifically invited to present their recommendation or their opinions and or concerns. When we have somebody speaking, please be polite, let them have their time, and we don't interrupt them with any type of comebacks or anything. It's their time. After we go through the public comment time, we'll go to consent agenda. There's a couple ones we want to specifically acknowledge tonight. And then there are some board action items. There are reports and presentations. There will be student representatives, board and superintendent comments. And then we will go into future agenda items, future board meetings. And that's our meeting. So it should go fairly quickly tonight. Hey, how you doing? Doing awesome. Thanks for bringing the good weather. That was your job, right? This time you did great on it. So our first thing on approval of minutes from the 4:25 meeting, I'll just ask for a motion.
I move that the Newburgh School Board approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries 6-0. Just letting everybody else know tonight in the audience, we have 6. Ron Riley's not feeling well, so that's why he is not in attendance tonight. Okay, we are ready for public comments right now. Sure.
All right, thank you, Chair Brown. I have 2 comments to be read. The first one is from Dawn Paulson. Hello, I just wanted to commend Principal Bailey for the great communication regarding some changes because of the construction in the school district at Mountain View Middle School. These are the little things that make a big difference to us parents because it's great to know what's going on. This information helps us strategize drop-offs, pickups, and when and where to go to make sure our kids are safely at school or in our care. Thank you, Principal Bailey, and thank you, Dr. Phillips and School Board for encouraging communication like this with us parents. I truly appreciate it. Don Paulson. Second one is from Melody Osborne. To the members of the school board, first, I apologize for not being able to present this comment in person. School board meetings are held the same day as Dundee's traffic court, and I am unable to get off work early enough to attend. Please do not let the attendance of my physical appearance lessen the weight of my request. Many of you know me from my official position with the city of Dundee. I would like to make it clear I'm writing as a citizen and community member, not as an employee of Dundee. As you know, Dundee Elementary is in the final stages of receiving land use approval for its site design for its new location. Earlier this year, public notice was mailed to surrounding property owners and interested community members. I submitted a public comment and have recently been informed that 1, I was the only person to have done so, and 2, my request is not included in the conditions of approval. This leaves me in the position of debating an appeal of the decision to the Planning Commission with the knowledge that I am the only person withstanding to do so. Although I am not writing in my official capacity, my employment offers me the insight to know how devastating a 2-month delay would be in the construction of the school. Therefore, I'm approaching you, the members of the school board, to request that you make a motion this evening requiring the movement or reconstruction of the memorial that is currently located at the existing Dundee Elementary School to the new property. I've reviewed the plans in their entirety, and there is no designation indicating that the memorial is to be erected at the new location. This memorial was built in May of 2013. It honors the lives of several students, a parent, and a teacher whose families and friends still live in the area. It serves as a place for our small community to go visit, grieve, and remember those friends we lost far sooner than we should have. This memorial is an important part of Dundee and deserves to move with the school and remain there in perpetuity. I know the technical aspect, land use reason, why my request did not make it into the conditions of approval. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. Hey, you, how you doing? Awesome.
I'm sorry, Chair Brown. Do we have in-person comments?
Yes,
Queued. Are we pressed for time? Because I would like to hear the rest of that information if everyone is in agreement with.
we have 3 is all.
Okay, so if no one is opposed to, I would like to finish that.
You okay with that, Chair Brown? Okay, so maybe I'll repeat some of what I already read so it flows better. This memorial was built in May of 2013. It honors the lives of several students, a parent, and a teacher whose families and friends still live in the area. It serves as a place for our small community to go visit, grieve, and remember those friends we lost far sooner than we should have. This memorial is an important part of Dundee and deserves to move with the school and remain there in perpetuity. I know the technical aspect, why my request did not make it into the conditions of approval. The technical reasoning leaves me with no other option but to rely solely on the emotional argument, which is why I believe an appeal to the Planning Commission would be fruitful. However, as stated previously, I wish to avoid this necessity. In order to avoid an appeal to the Planning Commission and a delay in the project, I need your help. Please make a motion tonight requiring the relocation or reconstruction of the memorial currently located at the existing Dundee Elementary School site to the new elementary school property as part of the construction of the new school. Respectively submitted, Melody Osborne, Dundee, Oregon.
All right, board, any comments?
I think we can talk, wrap up the comments and then if okay, when we are presenting the consent agenda, we can maybe make a motion to discuss that afterwards, if that's okay.
Yeah, I think we just need a motion to amend the agenda to add as a discussion item.
So I will make a motion to amend the agenda to add discussion about this comment in the memorial in Dundee Elementary.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Motion carries 6-0. Thanks, Raquel. All right, in person, we have 3 tonight. Our first one is going to be Derek Duff.
Tonight or? I'm not gonna go over too likely, but
direction we're going in here, so.
We're a couple minutes, but go ahead. You're fine.
All right, good evening, directors and staff. I had planned to discuss further analysis based on my comments 4 weeks ago about enrollment. But honestly, I don't think the board's really open to my findings. Last time I spoke about our rapidly declining enrollment compared to similar districts, the board directly responded with the comments, we're in a very, very healthy state because we exceeded our projection. I don't know how the projection was developed, but to provide some perspective, it called for the district to lose more students this year than we did during the year of the pandemic. So that's a significant and precipitous drop off. While it's good news that we exceeded our projected enrollments, our actual enrollments based upon the ODE enrollment fall data showed that we lost 130 students year over year, while the majority of similar districts actually saw a rebound and increase in enrollment year over year. I want to believe that the board wasn't dismissing me, but rather they just got their facts mixed up. While it's true that Oregon has been experiencing a decreasing enrollment, it doesn't negate the fact that Newberg's enrollment is falling at a faster pace, which ultimately means less money from the general fund. As we learned from the prior budget meeting last week, half of our funding comes from the state general fund. So as we fall faster than the state, our dollars as a percentage of the total overall pie actually decreases. Let me put this as plainly as I can. We have a serious situation on our hands that could drastically impact the future of our community. Dr. Phillips, I appreciated our conversation a few weeks ago and was impressed by how quickly you arranged to listen just 45 minutes after my email hit your inbox. But I must express my disappointment that no board members took the time to respond to the same email you were all included on. I also want to shine a spotlight on Heather Bixby as well. She was quick and thorough in responding to my questions and explaining the funding expense data to me. During our chat, we heavily touched upon the subject of legal expenses. As a parent, it's a tough pill to swallow with kids in the district, knowing that almost $268,000 of our budget went to 3 law firms to back up this board policies. The real kicker, it seems, is that we're still continuing to use Tyler Smith and Associates even after the firm's advice landed us in this mess. As Heather clarified, what's that? Oh, I thought we were we not? Are we doing 2 minutes? Are we not doing 2 minutes?
Mr. Chair, I would let him finish his.
No,
comments.
go ahead and finish.
I have another paragraph. During our discussion, Heather mentioned that Willamette ESD has broadened their services last year to include legal consultation. So I can't help but to wonder why we're turning to them instead of sticking with Tyler Smith and Associates. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you, Derek. All right, speaker number 2 is Beth Molzon.
Hello. For most of you, I know personally, and I've thanked you personally for serving on this board. I really appreciate it. I don't know why my voice does this when I speak about serious things. It just does. So for Renee and Dave and Trevor and Brian, I so appreciate your courage and the grace you guys have shown when a lot of mud has been slung your way. And for Shelley and Raquel and for Ron, I really appreciate that they stepped into something they already saw what could happen and they still did it. I just appreciate your time. I appreciate your hiring Steve. I like watching the collaboration between the board and a new superintendent. It's been great to watch. I've learned a ton about how when you guys make decisions and try to hold the line and try to protect the innocence of our children, sometimes you've got bigger organizations like state school boards that prevent some of those things from going forward. But I just wanted to say publicly, thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice of time. There are school boards, believe it or not, that get paid to do what you guys do. And you guys have given your time, your energy. Some of you have given up friendships, relationships to do what you're doing. So I thank you very much. Thanks to you girls too.
Okay, thank you very much, Beth. The third speaker is Penny Rader.
Hello, my name's Penny and I've been around Newburgh, grew up in Newburgh, went to Maple Rush, yay, not Edwards, yay, Maple Rush. And then I went to Rennie and then I went to Newburgh High School and have been back for about 7 years taking care of my mom. And I've just been getting involved and listening since last September. And I'm just want to commend all of you for the wonderful job you've been doing during this last pretty tough year or several years. And I just really want to commend you and give you thanks for everything. I did want to tell you that I'm really excited about the future and where we're going and just want to encourage everyone. The other day I was in the morning, I was reading some scripture and I felt compelled to read this one here tonight. Psalms 5, give ear to my words, O Lord, consider my meditation, hearken unto the voice of my cry, my King and my God, for unto thee will I pray. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning, O Lord, in the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee and will look up. For thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak lies. The Lord will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. Lead me, O Lord, in thy righteousness because of mine enemies. Make thy way straight before my face, for there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is exceeding wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue. Destroy thou them, O Lord. Let them fall by their own counsels. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions, for they have rebelled against thee. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy because thou defendest them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For thou, Lord, wilt bless the righteous, wilt thou compass him about as with a shield. I've been praying for all of you for quite a long time, and I continue to pray for you. And blessings to you all.
Okay. Thank you, Penny. Just a quick response back. It's our normal practice where we don't debate or speak back to people that come up and speak. And that's just the board and how we work. I will say to Derek as board chair, I will try to get a couple answers to your questions there. And so if we can get, closer on that one, because, a couple good points. When Dr. Phillips responds, a lot of times he's pretty darn good about getting back fast, like you said. And so, when that happens, we don't generally jump on there. To Beth and Penny, a lot of nice words. I would just say all three of you guys come up tonight. That's how we need to operate in our district, not because you say nice things about us, but with just with the elections come up, we're going to have changes and the board will be different. And we just need to keep moving forward as a community. And however those changes look, from student reps to people on the board, I think it will move forward in a good way. And the more we can do that in a way where everybody's, being really civil and stuff like that, it'll just make the work for the kids that much easier. So again, thank you. Moving on, we go into our consent agenda. There's a couple of ones here I'd like to acknowledge. When our consent agenda, before we vote on it, these are teacher contracts, teacher probationary contracts. But the accepting one is a Vanessa Siller, and she will be the new assistant principal at Edwards Elementary. And I believe there are 18 applicants for that position, so she must be pretty darn good. So Vanessa, look forward to meeting her. So if you're connected to Edwards, look forward to meeting the new assistant principal. Also, these are a little bit more closer to my heart. I worked with all three of these teachers on teacher retirements. So effective July 1st, they'll be retired. And I worked with all three for years and years and years at Newburgh High School. And they're all three passionate, solid educators. And that is Francisco Benetti, Susan Schiller, and Michelle Terry. I was in their classes many times and watched how they taught. They cared about kids. They worked for kids. They just did a great job. So I'd like to just, from the board, say thank you to those three for a job well done. And I'm sure they're looking forward to, going to Beachmore or whatever they're going to do. Paco was quite a baseball guy, so I'm sure he's going to go watch a lot of baseball. So with that, the other acknowledgement there on that is we had, for our resource rooms, United Way of Mid-Willamette Valley donated $1,367 to go to our resource rooms. So I think if you've been to any board meetings in the last 3 months, you will know that people are being very generous to our resource rooms, and it's awesome. For our community, it's great for the kids, and so that's very nice of them. If you ever get a chance to send a thank you that way, again, that was United Way of Mid-Willamette Valley, $1,367. So I'll accept a motion in a second on that consent agenda.
I will move that the Newburgh School District Board of Directors approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries 6-0. All right. Next up.
Bless you.
Oh, bless you. Next up is board action items. We adopted the world language adoption, but there's an important thing there. I'm going to have Superintendent Phillips speak to the ELD portion of that.
Yeah, the adoption was actually for world language as well as ELD curriculum. And when we approved it a month ago, we forgot to write the ELD on the agenda. And so you're just basically approving exactly what you did last time, except the agenda is now correct. It's ELD and world language. And that's very important. We have to prove to the Oregon Department of Education by an agenda that we adopted new curriculum. So it's kind of a technicality.
So I move the amendment, I move that the Board of Directors approve the adoption of ELD/world language curriculums for adoption.
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, motion carries 6-0. Okay. We have a budget audit update from Superintendent Phillips.
So in your board packet is your monthly budget report, including your revenues and your expenditures. And there's nothing that is overtly shocking on it. The good news is that our state school fund money has been released, and we will receive all of our back state school fund in our May 15th payment. In addition to that, we received some additional good news that we had our high cost disability adjustment, which will offset the overpayment of the state school fund for last year. So the amount that they withhold from last year will be significantly less than what we thought. So instead of around $1 million, we're planning between 300,000 and 400,000. Sorry. Yeah, $3 and $4 would be great, but yeah, so that was great news that just came out today. They're still making final adjustments on it. We should have the final numbers out Monday next week, but it's looking positive. The last two adjustments they've made on it, the amount that we've had to pay back has gone down. So super excited about that. Other than that, our next budget committee meeting is next Tuesday. I appreciate everybody coming to that and giving your input, and the new proposed budget document is posted on the website, and I think we sent out to most of the budget committee members the updated version. We did find one additional error, which I'll be making a change, but it only changes one page in there, so we won't be reprinting the whole thing again. So, but other than that, everything looks good and we're still on track.
Any questions for Heather? If not, I've got something to read. It's in your packet. This is under the agenda for budget audit update. We still don't have our audit completely finished. And so we asked Polly Rogers and Company, the auditing firm, to write a letter kind of letting the board and the community know why this is taking so long. So I'll go ahead and read this. It's dated yesterday, May 8th. It's written to myself, and it says, "Thank you for your inquiry on the status of your audit. We are working on the final copy of the report and we'll have it to you later this month so you can present at your June meeting. We appreciate your patience during this most unusual year for all of us. There were new accounting pronouncements that needed to be implemented, new audit report standards, many new federal program standard changes, adjustments to the values of PERS and RHIA liabilities, and the LGIP valuation. That, coupled with staff turnover at the district and our firm has caused delays. We had several trained audit senior staff leave the audit firm to take positions in local governments who are in desperate need of staffing. The whole accounting industry is facing huge labor shortages. Your current staff has been very cooperative in working with us through all of the accounting issues. Due to almost complete turnover in the district's business office, we and the district had to become familiar with the accounting records. We both had to spend many hours reviewing and addressing accounting and systems questions to ensure a complete and accurate presentation of the district's financial statements. We appreciate the district's assistance and commitment to this process. We are in the home stretch of getting the report completed and delivered to you. Roy R. Rogers, CPA, Polly Rogers and Company. Any questions about that?
That's really his name, Roy Rogers? Sarah?
It is his name,
Cool.
Roy Rogers. He's a nice guy, but yeah.
And I realize that's true that, because our accountant was short-staffed too. I mean, she could not keep, she did it all herself because she had nobody to come in to help her. I mean, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
And I understand that our local CPRD, their auditing firm is the same, and they're not done with theirs either. So I think wasn't there about 20, Heather, that they're not done with yet? Yeah, so I mean, it's just kind of a bad deal.
Are there any hard deadlines that we're at risk of bumping up against
Well,
with the
there-
state or the feds?
But it was that funding one, but they got enough done that ODE released our funds. So that's one big hurdle. I would imagine for me, a hard deadline would be July 1, but they assure us it'll be done by then.
Okay.
So.
Any more questions? Everybody good? Okay. Thanks, Heather, as usual. All right, next up is comments time. So student,
Excuse me, Chair, were we going to put under the discussion items, the conversation about the memorial?
you are
in,
right. Sorry. Thanks.
Dundee.
Yes.
Elementary. Thank you.
Let's open that up. Let's go. Thank you for reminding me.
So for me, thank you so much for the request. I think before we can say, yes, we're going to do it, we need to find out what is the scope of this work, the cost, and find out from the executors of that task, the possibility of it being done. Right? It'd be hard, it'd be very difficult for me to come here and say, yeah, let's do it. And then have the construction crew say, we can't move that, or for us to move that, it's an expense that is very large. So while I understand and I sympathize with the request, I think that we need to really have a definition of the scope and cost and feasibility of this move before we make a request from our contractors.
So I have a meeting with Cornerstone tomorrow. Casey from Cornerstone, he's presented to you all before tomorrow. So I can find out as much as I possibly can. To be honest, I don't even know how big the memorial is. Does anybody know? Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, they're a small plaque and sometimes they're big. I don't know, but I can find all that out.
Yeah, that's what we would need to find out. Is this something that is part of the building? And if we were to remove it, it would depreciate the value of the building that we're going to sell later. Is it like we haven't, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So we would need to find out. And yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. So I'm open to a discussion to try to accommodate this request because I understand it's important. So if we could hear more, that'd be great.
So I'm happy to, as I said, talk to Cornerstone about it. If it's okay with the board, I'll reach out to the, forget her name already, but her name, to talk to her. And hopefully 2 weeks, next board meeting in 2 weeks, I'll have enough information for you that you can make a decision.
Thank you. Yeah, it seems that she is knowledgeable and that she would be able to help the construction or Cornerstone to scope the project.
Yep, I'll reach out.
Thank you.
I was just going to add, for me, I think I've got 6 kids that have passed away that I've coached in Newburgh. And there's 2 full memorials at the tennis courts at Newburgh High School as we speak. Those are plaques on top of big rocks. But just speaking from the family standpoint, that's kind of their memorial. Now, is it board policy or whatever? It just kind of way it happened for 2 of those 6. So it's an incredibly important thing for the families of those 2. So as we move forward as a district, we may have to have a policy in place, for some of this kind of stuff, but it'd probably be something we could look into. But for these people in Dundee, I know for me, when I'm out there at the tennis courts, that's where their memorial's at. So it's a big deal. So if you can check that out, we can talk to them. So that'd be great. Any other comments, board, on that?
Dr. Steve, could you forward the information to us ahead of time before the next meeting, once you get it?
Yep.
Great, thanks.
Okay, if we're good, are you 2 ready to sing over there now? Okay, you guys are up.
Okay, so what I'm bringing to you guys today is the issue of Wi-Fi. At the high school currently, I'm a student at the high school, obviously, but I also do like the peer tutoring down at the elementary school, Maple Rush. And at both of those schools, spotty Wi-Fi has been a pretty consistent issue. At the elementary school, like a lot of their, like everything they do is basically online, like even like dismissal is online. And so with like the Wi-Fi being spotty, it's really like disrupting like normal days and routines. And then, I mean, same thing at the high school, like we can't get our work done on like our Chromebooks when the Wi-Fi is down. And so, yeah, that's a main problem. And then another issue is, this is at the high school level, is there are some filters on the Wi-Fi. So it's like, it'll work really good for Google Classroom, but not as much for like social media. And we had a meeting, Moya and I had a meeting with Tammy, or Miss Arian, and she had said that she is meeting with the tech department to get some of these filters broadened, so that like because some students, like, we have free periods or we get done with our work early and then there's absolutely nothing to do. And so with and so, yeah, I feel like that's a big concern with students and faculty, is just like the reliability of the Wi-Fi. And there'll be like times where the Wi-Fi is out for like hours. And I don't know if that's related really to the construction or if it's a Wi-Fi problem, but I feel like it's pretty essential for everybody to have reliable Wi-Fi, especially at school. So that is what I had to present.
Has that been a problem in the past, or have you noticed it being because of the construction?
I don't know. I've only been at the high school while there's construction going on, if that makes sense. So I don't know if I could say, but I don't think it's construction, because it happens at like Maple Rush too, which like, I guess I couldn't really speak to that, but either way, it is a issue that we are all dealing with.
And
Mountain View has it too.
Is the speed and reliability of the Wi-Fi for the Google Classroom workable?
Not always. Most of it, like,
because I understand for social media, not.
It's never reliable,
Right.
which is the point, I'm sure. But with Google Classroom, like when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And like, you can't search anything on like the computer. It just says like page failed to load. Like, so when it's like the Wi-Fi is the issue, it's a complete shutdown. And then in addition to that, like the filters are another issue.
Can I add something? Okay. I was talking with one of the teachers, and I understand there's this new program that got put over the routers and stuff like that, which is supposed to block certain sites. I completely understand blocking Snapchat. I went on, but we could also just turn the Wi-Fi off. So it's like, what can you do? But I mean, I've done it a couple times, but things like CAD labs for like our science things, some of those are still blocked. So I think the Miss Arion was having a meeting with tech today to try and like broaden those filters. But I think it was just something that we wanted to like present to you guys, just so you guys are aware as well. That's what's going on at the high school. And then with some lighter news, some happy stuff, I kind of wanted to like shout out and like commend Miss Tolley and her teaching all the business classes at the high school. She's doing a really good job. It's currently staff faculty appreciation week at the high school. And they're doing things like teachers can come get a pin. Two of the girls who run a business, Pacific Coast Pins, did staffalty pins for them, and they've got these fun passports. And I just think that Miss Tolley and all those kids running their businesses at the high school deserve a huge shout out, because they're doing amazing. And it's like bringing in money for those classes to put right back into the students, like the Tiger's Den for kids to buy stuff, kids getting snacks, the kids who are making super slushies at school. That's super fun. So I just kind of wanted to shout out to Tolley and those business classes, because they're making it a super fun, enjoyable experience at the high school right now. So that's all I have.
Can you guys bring us one of those slushies next time? So you guys,
They're yummy.
they
They're
are
really
okay.
yummy.
What's your favorite flavor?
Blue rise because there's extra syrup.
You guys are both doing lacrosse right now, right? And you still like each other? Okay. All right. How's the team doing? Okay.
I'm sorry, I have a question. How was the testing? Yes.
We have currently, we've completed the science and the reading portion. We haven't started the math yet. Next week. I feel like it went well just from my like experience and like the classes that I were in. I felt like the effort was there. Kids weren't finishing, like people weren't zooming through it. I feel like the snacks were greatly appreciated. Like the proctor would be like, you guys can come up and get a snack, and everybody would be like super excited and hype, and like everyone was running to get snacks. I think that just like that excitement, like those are kind of correlated. Like you're getting kids excited about like the snacks, and that just puts them in the better mood for the test. I guess it'd be hard to say really how it went until we see the scores, but as like a student who took the test, I felt like it went like pretty good.
Thank you for the update.
Scores drop, you're not getting snacks.
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and I feel like we definitely saw a great, like, I feel like teachers really like put it on and helped out. Like a lot of teachers made it for like made these testing scores. They're going to put it in as a grade book grade, which is just a form of motivation. We did prep in a lot of classes. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of our bases were covered, and I'm excited to see how those scores turned out.
Thanks, you too. Appreciate it. Okay, board comments. We start with Dr. Kolb.
I'm going to start with a shout out to the Yamhill Enrichment Society, acronym YES, for meeting with Dr. Phillips, Director Powell, our fine music teachers, Jill Tanner, Shay Skiles, and Matt Fletcher, and myself to explore maintaining the current string program at Edwards and the possibility of expansion. And this is great because it doesn't cost us anything, and they're fantastic success. The kids love it. And they're part of the Junior Orchestra of Yamhill County, JOY. It's their mission to create access to music, in particular strings, to the youth in Yamhill County. And so we've had it at Edwards since 2017. And what's exciting is this Friday, we're going to have the inaugural class. It started out in 2017. They're going to be performing along with a couple of the more junior orchestras, but we'll get to hear them finally. And so they're going to be going into middle school. So very exciting. And so thank you. And then a big shout out and appreciation to all of our music teachers.
Okay, Director Bergino.
So I just wanted to make a comment about a perception that might be incorrect, where there might be a misunderstanding that the board focus on academics is removing resources from electives, and that is just not true. So while we want to make sure that we are, for the budget of next year, ensuring that there is enough math support, because we're going to have a new curriculum. So there is an increase of FTEs there. There is no reduction in staffing, resources for electives, for arts, for any of it. So and I say this believing that academics is very important and arts is also important. And right now, we just want to make sure that we can get caught up with some things that are behind. So I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Dr. Powell.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the JOY program too, because I went on, what that night was, where they did over at Edwards and the little kindergarten and first graders. did their little performance and it was just so cute and fun to watch. And then I think there's one on Friday. Is it at George Fox?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's at 6:30 at Bauman Auditorium at George Fox University. So thank you for
Is
reminding me
that
to
a
mention
free
it.
event?
I'm sorry.
Is it free? Or-
I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, encourage everybody to go to that. 'cause
Yeah,
that
it should be a
just
great concert. Thank you.
yeah, really good. So.
Director DeHart, you are up.
Thank you. I wanted to kind of piggyback on what you lady said about the standardized testing. My youngest daughter's in 8th grade and my son's a junior, so they're both going through the testing. Actually, I was coming down here to pick them up because they're gone. And so they've been doing it here. And I just. I was just saying that my two youngest are going through the standardized testing. And I just wanted to thank you ladies for being the face of improvements in standardized testing and really encouraging people to do their best on this. And I think that that's important. I think my experience was that as my kids went to go do the standardized testing, I think unless as parents, we put the emphasis on what the importance is, not just that it's important, right? I think that it's important that your kids do their best at everything that they do. We know that we're human. That's not always the case. But my wife and I really emphasize the importance of doing this. And my parents never did that when I was a kid. So I think going forward, my whole point in this is that that went a long ways with them, that they understand why they need to take it serious. And we want to have an accurate depiction of how well we're doing as a district. That's very important. And I'm hoping that this time we'll see marked improvements, not just because, academics are better, but because we're taking it serious as students. And I think that that's very important. And I think as we move forward, we can improve upon the snacks and the other things that we've doing, really marketing this and emphasizing the importance of it, but also reaching out to the parents and letting them know that it's coming up and how important it is and what a reflection it is on the community and the school district and the leadership and the employees. So that's all I have to say on that. I volunteer at the Dundee Elementary School reading for the kids on Wednesdays. I know I brought that up, but the reason I bring it up today is because every time I'm there, I'm usually talking to Principal Wright. And just to let people know, a reminder that the groundbreaking ceremony for Dundee Elementary, I believe, is on the 22nd. And I think that got sent out to the community also. So if you're available then, please come out for the groundbreaking ceremony. I think that that's going to be very exciting. I think that that's all I've got. Oh, shout out to the weekly newsletter and the softball team. I love that video that you did with them, Dr. Phillips, the coach, and looks like they're having a lot of success. So awesome.
Dr. Shannon.
I didn't have a ton for tonight, but I do want to address some of the comments that were made earlier by one of our public speakers regarding our enrollment. And it's really encouraging to see folks show up and be concerned with our enrollment. I was concerned with our enrollment back in 2019 when I first joined the board, because our enrollment decline started in 2017. And so it is a problem. And we as a board have been working to address what we see as the root causes of it, of what's driving families away from the school district. But it's completely insincere to try and lay a trend that started in 2017 at the feet of this board. It's not honest. And I give people the benefit of the doubt. Back then we weren't filming our meetings. There were no recordings. The meeting minutes often were incomplete. So it can be forgiven for folks to not know what happened before. But I think it's important to know our enrollment decline started in 2017. And we've been working to get it under control. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys. For me, I guess is more like I just spent 11 hours at Park Rose High School with my tennis team from Canby, girls tennis. And, you know, I think that as this election's coming up, you know, in the next 7 days, it seems really tough. You know, our community's still divided, but it can be an exciting time if we focus all of our focus on kids. And you know, I look at you two every time. It's so encouraging when you guys come, because you guys bring a unique perspective that's super good. And I just hung out for, you know, the entire day with people your age. And when you see how much kids from different schools can get along with each other much better than adults. They don't bring all the adult big problems and agendas. And sometimes on a board, we have to tackle stuff that's not as much fun. But I would just say, I think instead of looking at this election as a big negative, of course, people want to win, you know, but some people are going to lose. But do we really lose if we have people really wanting to serve on this board for people like you guys and for all of our students? I really, you know, my prayers is our time as a community of just rough comments and negative comments can come to an end. And if we really truly think about the kids, and I'm sorry to call you guys kids, but if we're really thinking about the students and the young adults, then we would put it all aside, no matter who ends up on this board, no matter who ends up winning elections or whatever, that we could come together for the common good of Newburgh and Dundee Public Schools. And I saw it, you know, all day today, and different schools than what we play. But young people teach me so much all the time about civility. And that's something I just really want to see our community come back, because that's what our young people and our students need. So that's my comments for tonight. So with that said, we are now into
My turn.
Oh, I forgot about you again.
Yep.
You want
Yep.
me?
Yes, please. I even typed it up.
Okay.
So it's, so first of all, this week is Staff Appreciation Month. It's our classified staff, certified staff.
This week, Staff Appreciation Month.
This week is Staff Appreciation Week. Thank you. And so I just want to publicly say I appreciate all of them. They work hard. They do it for kids, and obviously we couldn't do it without them. I also throw in our administrators. They work hard as well, and it's definitely a team effort. Yeah. Next is I want to publicly thank the Newburgh Education Foundation, NEF, and also Rotary. They've been partnering with us financially to help support the testing and participation in the state tests, not only at the high school, but also the 8th grade level and the 3rd grade level. We've got some neat stuff planned, and they've been a big part of that. So I appreciate them. Interesting stat for everybody, since April 5th, so just about a month ago, we have approved 98 volunteer badges here at the district office. So just, which is interesting, 98's a lot. And there's a few, I think there's like 4 from contractor, and there was another 5 from U of O, but a good 90 of them were from parents. And I imagine a lot of those are because their kids are going on field trips here in the spring and they want to accompany their kids. But a lot of those translate into volunteers in our schools. So that's really encouraging. I appreciate all those parents that came and completed the paperwork and got their picture taken and all that good stuff. Update on our communications and community relations position. As you all might recall, last year we hired B&B. They were a pilot program. When we hired them, we said it was a pilot program, and we said that we would open the position up in the spring. So we have opened that position up. We had 21 applicants, which is awesome. And we've gone through 2 screening processes. We've got it down to 6 top candidates, and we are interviewing those 6 next week. So I would imagine by next board meeting, we will be able to present a name for a new communications and community relations position. So excited about that. At our last board meeting on April 25th, I highlighted our performing arts and all of the success they had. And according to Mr. Tanner and Mr. Fletcher, it was the best year they've ever had. I want to follow up with that a little bit. From those competitions, Camille Hildebrandt placed 4th at state in the state solo vocal contest. So that's pretty neat. And now I'm going to jump into student athletes and some of our spring sport highlights. Anthony Geesh set a new school record in the 3,000 meter. Sophia Castaneda set a new school record in the 400 meter. Ray Greller shot a 6 under 66. So 6 under par 66 is amazing at the Pacific Coast Golf Tournament. So he was our league champion and he will go on to state. Gabby Zilsdorf, she also in the girls tournament, she qualified for state as well. Boys lacrosse is the number one seed going into their league tournament next week. Boys and girls tennis, their district is later this week. And boy and girl track and field have district tournament next week. And I was going to specifically ask you girls, how's lacrosse? How are you stacking up in lacrosse in the league?
11-6 after an 18-6 dub last night. Just got to put that one out there. And after Friday, we'll be league champs.
Okay.
Just gotta throw that out there.
The girls lacrosse team has confidence, but we'll see.
Moya is on track to breaking the school goal record. That should be coming. You already did?
I already broke.
Moya broke this. Okay, well, Moya broke the school goal record. That's a huge accomplishment. How many? You know?
How many goals? Well,
Season.
come on, you have it memorized.
No, I got it right here. Well, first season it's 97 and I broke it at 113. And I'm second in state, third in caused turnovers, and I'm tied for second for draw controls. My mom got me into it.
All right. That's awesome. Good job. And then I wanted to kind of touch base on what Lucia was saying. The filters, they're working. That's what they're supposed to be doing. So that's a good news. The Wi-Fi being spotty, that's an issue and we're working on it. But so yes, thanks for bringing that up. We are working on it. But yeah, I'm probably won't be real popular with YouTube, but if social media is getting hampered and kind of shut down, that's music to my ears. So yeah. So anyway, that's all I have. Thank you, girls. Thank you, Chair.
All right. You sure you're right on those 113? You sure? Okay. That's impressive. That 66 in golf was really impressive too. Okay, future agenda items. We have principal presentations at the next board meeting. From Crater, we'll have Emily Chadwick, and from Maple Rush, we'll have Tim Lauer. And we also have the math curriculum and adoption work. And then also we'll have the IGA City of Newburgh presentation. And then future board meetings. Next is budget committee meeting May 16th at 6 p.m. There'll be a work session May 23rd, our next board meeting at 7 p.m. There'll be a budget hearing June 13th at 6:30 p.m. and then a regular session June 13th board meeting at 7 p.m. And with that said, Mr. Shannon, meeting is adjourned.